in terms of like mental health, I've struggled because I find obviously I do what I do and I love what I do, but sometimes it's hard not to compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. Known for her viral Halloween transformations, now renamed Sophie Hannah, alongside her trend-focused festival looks, it's no surprise that Sophie is bringing out her first book, No Rules Beauty Bible, with HarperCollins, which later comes out this month. Sophie has also worked with some of the biggest beauty brands in the industry, including Charlotte Tilbury, GHD, and Rare Beauty. Sophie also owns a successful hair dye brand named Sophie Hannah Hair, which has killed it on TikTok Shop and sold out. So welcome to the studio, Sophie. Welcome to the studio. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Honestly, like every time I've met you, I'm like, I need to set up my makeup looks
today.
Stop
it. Bless you.
Normally I'm like, oh, can I do the podcast makeup free? And I was like, no, because Sophie's coming on today. So I actually have to make a bit of effort. I brush my hair especially for you.
Amazing. Your lashes look insane as well.
Oh, thank you. I actually don't know which ones they're from, but I switched to a new brand recently because I've learned a lot about like mink.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of.
Okay, fine. Are they individual or false?
These are false.
Oh my God, you've stuck them on so well.
Do you think?
Yeah, they look seamless.
Oh, I'm going to take that because
they
I'm
look
really
good.
bad. I remember the first time I ever used false lashes was at prom.
Oh yeah.
And it took me 40 minutes to stick one on.
Oh God.
I was 16 and very clueless.
Oh, bless you. They are hard to stick on though.
They are. I remember one being like coming up towards my eyebrow, which was a great look. But you know, it was when we look back at our old photos of ourselves and we're like, terrible decision.
Yeah,
but
always.
I'd rather have that before than now.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, like I've spoken a little bit about how you literally kill the beauty industry online. I love watching your transformation videos, mainly because I'm like, I would never be able to do that myself. How did you get into doing beauty online?
So, oh God, rewind to like 10 years ago. So I actually, when I left university, I studied fashion with photography at uni. And then when I left, I actually wanted to be a freelance fashion stylist. So I kind of moved to London and I interned with like Elle magazine and a fashion stylist and just kind of tried to, make my way, make contacts. I did that for about a year, then realized that it's who you know, it's not like what you know or how good you are at it. And I wasn't really getting any money. So then I had to get a job and I actually got a job in social media. That's when I kind of discovered blogging and I set up a blog to basically showcase my own style in the hope that someone would book me to style them for a shoot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the thought process behind it. Set up Instagram, started sharing my outfits of the day every day. And then people started saying, oh my God, like your hair, how did you do that? Or how did you do your eye makeup? So then I started introducing video tutorials and then it kind of just grew from there. And I had a couple of other jobs in social media. I worked in a PR agency. So essentially I was kind of like working brand side. I was running fashion and beauty, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, like all of their social accounts, and then doing mine at home alongside. And then I hit 100K on Instagram and I was like, I feel like I could potentially take this full time now. So then that was nearly 7 years ago when I quit my job.
Wow. Like when you said 10 years ago, you must be like the OG of influencing.
Do you know what? I wouldn't even say, I'd say maybe like one of the OGs, but not the OGs. I feel like the OG to me is like Zoella.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry. I forget, one of the OGs to me is like Zoella on YouTube.
But I guess it's probably helped you out a lot working brand side because then you know what brands are looking for as well.
Exactly. And then I think working brand side, I was able to kind of know how much influencers were charging at that time to know that when I hit 100K, actually I could earn a decent amount. I could actually make this into a job. And also, like knowing how to deal with contracts and how it kind of works like between a brand and an influencer, kind of that side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like when I've spoken to people that are probably like on 100K now and stuff, and they don't necessarily get paid, and it's like, no, you should be telling these brands you want to be paid for.
They
your
are
work.
getting paid, and
exactly.
They are getting paid so much more than I was when I was on 100K years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's because there is so many people in the industry and on the market now.
Yeah.
How has the industry evolved for you over the last like 10 years?
It's definitely changed a lot. I'd say, I mean, in so many different ways, like even just taking the algorithm on social media channels. Like back in the day, I'd post 3 still photos on Instagram a day, every day, and they would do well. And it
No.
literally didn't even have to be anything crazy. Like I'd post like one outfit, but I'd do a full length shot, a mid shot, and then a close up of like my nails with my belt or something, or my handbag. And like every single one did so well. Fast forward to today, it's like you'll be spending up to 10 hours filming one video, hours editing. It has to be, you know, really slick content, really thought through. Like it's completely changed, like the whole industry. It's a lot more saturated now. There's so many people, especially since lockdown. I think a lot of people discovered creating content in lockdown because there was nothing else to do. And so now there's, God, like triple the amount of content creators. Also, I think back in the day, I get a lot of inspo from magazines. Like I'd buy magazines. I don't buy magazines anymore. Everything's digital now. So even just that kind of thing in the industry has completely changed.
Maybe I'm the only person that still buys magazines these days.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I still buy my L like every...
Oh, yeah, that's so nice. The only time I ever bought magazines like recently was for my house. Like homeware magazines, like for inspo and stuff. It's quite nice to look at.
They're really cool. But it's really weird when you say like every time you'd post 3 pictures a day and it would all do well.
Yeah.
Because now you'd be like, that would never happen.
No,
unless you were like a Kardashian.
Yeah, literally. I mean, on TikTok you can post more than once a day, but the guarantee of every single video going like viral or doing well, the percentage is quite low, I think. Well, for my channel anyway. The other people obviously might do quite well. But yeah, Instagram for sure. You need to post once a day because I feel like if you post twice, your engagement kind of spreads across both of those posts rather than just all going to one.
I missed the OG Instagram algorithm where you would see everything chronologically.
Yeah, and also I knew exactly what times to upload. I'd be like, right, I'm posting at 8 a.m. in the morning because everyone's on the way to work.
Yeah.
I'm posting at lunchtime at like 1 o'clock and I'm posting 6:30 p.m. on the way home. People will see it. So like I knew, and I think everyone else knew when to post, when the most engaging time was. Whereas now, you don't know if someone's going to see your post after 5 minutes, in 4 days. Like,
yeah, because I'm seeing stuff come up on my timeline now that was 4 days ago. And I'm like, oh, I've missed that. Like, that's old.
So crazy, yeah.
But so now that the like industry's become more saturated, have you found that it's impacted your workload or your work life?
So I definitely think in terms of like mental health, I've struggled because I find it's, obviously I do what I do and I love what I do, but sometimes it's hard not to compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, of course.
Like, because I mean, I don't sit there and watch my own videos. I sit there and watch everyone else's videos. So I take in what other people are doing and I'm like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be talking more? And I think, no, like I need to just focus on what I'm doing and just enjoy because I love what I do. So just concentrate on that. But yeah, it's very saturated now. And I think it's hard in terms of working with brands because there's more of you. So sometimes the brands like to go and try different influencers to see how their content would do, or maybe there's another influencer more suited to their brand than you are anymore. However, I do feel like I do feel like I still dominate what I do. Yeah. There's not many people out there that do beauty, hair, and fashion. I feel like a lot of people niche down and just do one thing. So I do feel like that kind of sets me aside from a lot of people. And also just having coloured hair, and that's always set me aside. I mean, I feel like I'm probably one of the biggest hair dye influencers in the UK. So I feel like that kind of, I dominate that, which is great. So yeah, I feel like I've still got really good things about my page, even in a saturated market.
Yeah, I think when I think of like influencers that do makeup and things, it's more like day to day or neutral. Whereas when I think of like colourful, I do think of you.
Yeah.
And like colourful hair and stuff like that. So I guess that is probably easy for you in that sense. And it's also easier to stand out on social media when you look and you're like, oh my God, that's really bright.
Yeah.
Because I always stop and look at your context. I'm like, oh, she's painting herself green.
Yeah. Amazing.
But you are also self-managed.
Yeah.
And I also think that's something that's really unheard of in this industry. Like people have managers to help them reach out to brands and help them manage their workload, and you do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think is wild. What was the reasoning behind the decision to be completely self-managed?
So when I quit my job, I actually worked at a PR agency, and when I left, they launched a talent management. So I naturally knew who was managing me. I knew them very well because I've worked alongside them. I went with them, and I stayed with them for about 4 years, I think. And it was great, like to kickstart in the industry and to kind of have someone manage that side of things. It worked really well. But after about 4 years, I'd obviously grown my Instagram and my YouTube. And I was like, you know, I feel like I just want to take it to the next level. And I feel like, well, with all management, they're managing a lot of talent. And so if jobs come in, they might give it to somebody else. Like, I know how it worked behind the scenes. And I think I just wanted more. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take it in-house. I also felt like I was lacking relationships with brands and contacts because I never saw my emails. So I didn't know who the PR was behind each different makeup brand. And also I never saw any contracts or anything because it was all done for me. So I kind of just wanted to gain a bit of control and have a bit more of an insight into actually what was going on with my business in a way. So and it's been amazing. Like, I signed up to Diary Directory, which you pay a yearly fee and you get access to every single contact in the beauty and fashion industry. So it's amazing, obviously, if you want to manage yourself. And then I think they do influencer rates to make it cheaper, because I think it's quite expensive if
I can imagine
a company pays a subscription. So I got that to help me get started. And then, I've been building contacts with brands ever since, and just building those relationships, because I never had those before. Like, it's so funny, I left management I had, I think, over 1 million followers on Instagram, and I didn't have any contacts in the industry. It's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't have any contacts.
It's weird because you would never think that about any other business or industry out there. Like, if you had reached that level, you would be able to know everything that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't. So whereas now, you know, I work very closely with lots of different makeup brands, and I have relationships with loads of them. And I might go and meet them for dinner or lunch or go to events, and it's just so much nicer now. And also it's great in terms of doing campaigns and jobs. Like, if I'm filming something and I think, oh, I've just had a thought during filming that, do I need to do something? And I can just WhatsApp or email the brand, and I know I'm going to get an instant reply. Whereas when it's with management, it's like you have to then email your manager, but then they might be busy or in a meeting or away. And so then it's like a train of people. So it just gets stuff done quicker. And so I think it is tough managing yourself, because obviously, you get inundated with emails. Something I do lack is outreaching, but I'm quite lucky that I have enough work coming in that I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I've recently hired a publicist to help me with my book launch. So hopefully, she kind of picks up anything. If there's any brands that I want to work with, she's there to fall back on. So it's nice to have someone else. But managing myself, is something that I'm still doing now, and it's going great.
What was it scary when you first broke away from management?
It was, but I think I was just so ready to just have more control. I think through doing this, I've learned that I am a bit of a control freak, and in just more I just like to know what's going on, because I feel like if I'm doing a job or something and I'm clueless, or I have no idea who the PR is behind the brand, or it just throws me off. I feel like I just want to know the ins and outs of everything. And also as well, in terms of just actually my schedule, in this industry, a lot of the jobs are very last minute. So when they come in, they're like, right, we've got this job for you. We need it posted next week. And I can literally look at my schedule and be like, right, that's not going to work. So can I post on this day, or let me move this around to accommodate you? Whereas when I have management, that sort of thing was never really spoken about. It was like, this is a job, this is how much it is, and you have to post on this date. And it was quite hard trying to say, well, actually, can we negotiate? They just never really did that for me. Whereas now I feel like I can do better.
There's probably less pressure for you to accept work that you don't want to do either.
Exactly. Oh my God, that was another thing as well. Jobs would come in, and I'd be like, oh, I just don't know if that's right. And were they going to pay you more money? I'm still not quite sure. Okay, well, I've got you an extra 500 quid. And you're like, I feel like I can't say no. And I am a people pleaser through and through. I've learned that through therapy. So I would just please my agency and do the jobs. Whereas now, if something comes in and I'm like, actually, I don't want to do that, or I don't like the look of that product, I will just say no. Or if they say, we've only, like I say my rates and they say, oh, we don't have that budget, I'll say, well, sorry, that's my rates. Because I always think like this when I renovated my house. I hired tradesmen and I said, I want my kitchen done. And they were like, okay, well, it's going to cost you this much. I didn't then go to them and say, oh, I can't afford that. Can I actually knock you down a couple of grand? Or because that's not how it works. Like they've given me a rate for their service.
Yeah.
So I always stay true to that. Like that's my rate, and that is that rate because of the quality of my content, the engagement, the amount of hours that goes into the work. Obviously, the fact that I've been doing this for so long, also like my camera equipment and stuff, like the editing software, all adds up. So I'm like, I know my rates are good for me. So yeah, I stick to them. And also I find I don't like giving a lesser rate to one brand and then making another brand pay my rate, because I feel like it should be equal for everyone.
And I do feel like in this industry, people talk as well.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They'll get around.
100%.
But I think it's nice because obviously you were talking earlier about sometimes when you struggle with your mental health in terms of comparison when you look at other content creators. But I guess in that sense, it's probably reinstated your how much you value yourself and the work you do by saying that this is my price and sticking to it. Because I do feel like in this industry, sometimes you're like, too scared to ask, or like, am I worth this much? But actually, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
of the skills and like the knowledge you provide, like you said, with all of the things behind you.
Yeah, 100%. I think you just got to believe in yourself. And I mean, I've been in this industry for a long time. And like you say, people do talk. So I do roughly kind of know what people are charging. I charge a lot less than some people. But for me, I'm like, that's a good rate. And also like, I'm happy with that rate. Like I can live off, I can pay my mortgage or pay all my bills and stuff. Like it works for me. Yeah.
It's weird because off camera I was saying like, oh, I used to be one of those people that'd be really guilty in saying that I didn't think it was like a proper job or a full-time job. And then you told me some of your looks would take 11 hours.
11 hours. Yeah, Vecna was 11 hours. Yeah, so honestly, like I love doing cosplay. Like obviously Sophie Hannah has become a thing now. And I think it's funny because when I look back at my old Halloween makeup looks, they never took me that long. I never spent time doing them. And to be honest, like to me, I look at them and I'm like, they're terrible. But obviously I had to start somewhere, and it's nice seeing the growth when I look back. But obviously when lockdown came, I had so much more time on my hands. So I just experimented with makeup. And I was like, said to myself, it doesn't matter how long I'm sat here for, I've got time. I don't need to be anywhere. So if it takes me 10 hours to do this makeup, 5 hours to do this, I'm just going to sit here and do it because I enjoy doing it. And then I actually realized that if I spent a little bit more time and more like actually like put more quality into my work and my looks, actually did pay off. So then that first Halloween of lockdown, just people were like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like your skills and your Halloween makeup just grown into, and then even last year, just seeing my looks and how much I'd improved from the year before. It's hard though, because it puts pressure on me, because every year now I'm like, Sophie Hannah's got to be bigger and better than the year before. But I love doing it. So yeah, even though it takes so long, it's enjoyable for me. But yeah, people don't see how long it takes, and they just see like a 30-second clip.
Do you think the desire or need to be bigger and better than your last content has an impact on your mental health?
It does. And also it's just very stressful and overwhelming, because obviously it just puts pressure on you. And then I start planning Halloween in August. So I start planning it in August.
Wow.
Yeah, start planning my looks, start ordering everything, because all of my looks, like I might need contact lenses or special effects makeup. So the closer you get to October, it all just sells out. So I try and be really on it with planning everything. Even that's just stressful. Like I'd have to say last year, doing Halloween and having my hair brand and launching a book was very stressful. I just took on so much. I think I shot all of my book content. So I shot around like 200 photos in my book, and I edited all of them as well 2 weeks before Halloween, whilst doing filming Halloween looks. And people obviously didn't realise, because I couldn't share any of it. And I kept sharing online that I was really stressed and like struggling with my mental health. And then I was like, after Halloween, I was like, I need a holiday. And I went on holiday and I did not shoot any content when I was away. It's the first time in 10 years I've ever done that. Went on holiday and didn't do any content. And everyone was like, good on you. And I was like, yeah, but if you'd actually knew what I went through, you'd be like, why did you not take that holiday sooner? But yeah.
It's also really weird to hear someone who's an influencer not shoot any content on holiday.
I know, right?
Because a holiday is not a holiday. A holiday is time to get content.
That's another thing I think. Like being an outsider, a lot of people think, oh, well, influencers get to travel and they go to these amazing places. And I'm not going to lie, yes, they are incredible experiences. They are amazing. Like I've been given the opportunity to travel to so many different countries and see so many different cultures. But at the same time, for me, it's work. Yeah. And so whenever I go on a brand trip, it's always, I'm professional. I won't really drink that much because I want to be professional. Like it's work at the end of the day. I want to please the brand. I want to make sure I'm filming content for them. The itineraries are jam-packed, so you're creating content for them. Because essentially, the reason why a brand's taking you away is because they're paying for you to go away. In return, you're going to create content for free, essentially.
Yeah.
But they're essentially paying for you because they've paid for you to go away. But yeah, holidays, I would book a trip for myself, but it would always be like, right, what am I going to shoot on this trip then? I'm going to do this, this, and this, and he's plan all my holiday outfits. I'm going to do a styling video. This time I was like, I'm just going to pack a suitcase of random stuff in my wardrobe that I don't even care. I'm not going to try on any outfits before I go. I'm not going to plan anything, and I'm just going to go. And it was actually really nice.
The control freak in me is like,
and yeah,
packing
honestly,
clothes without trying them on.
I know, right? That's usually me all over, but it was actually amazing. I felt really weird. Like my husband said, like I felt really odd the first couple of days because I was like, I don't know, I felt on edge. I was like, I couldn't relax because it wasn't normal to me to do that. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm on holiday. I don't need to film any content. Like I don't need to worry. And then I was like, right, I'm relaxing now.
Do you find your husband's not an influencer, is he?
No, but he works with me.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, sometimes they don't get it.
Oh no!
So how does that impact your relationship?
No, he's actually really good. Like I mean, I think sometimes we both sit there and we're like, hang on a minute, you're doing this, or you're going to this place, or you've just got sent this for free. Like this is wild. Like we even like still now, 10 years down the line, still pinch ourselves at like what's going on, like in the industry or at home or whatever. But he's really good. Like he helps me, edits my videos. Sounds really silly, but like he'll just help me around the house. Like it's a very 24/7 job, and so many parcels, and the recycling is crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. Like
is, yeah.
you should see. I have this lovely little. What I thought in my head was going to be this lovely little courtyard in my house, like in my garden. I was like, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have all these plants. It's just a dumping ground because of the amount of recycling, and I don't even know what's turning up. Half the time, I don't even like. Obviously, I'm very grateful for all of the PR gifting. But sometimes I'm like, I wish brands would ask before they send the product because sometimes it's stuff like I'm allergic to quite a bit of makeup now. So it's like if I get sent a liquid eyeliner or something, like I can't use it. So obviously like I'll gift it to my friends and family, which they're very grateful for. But yeah, sometimes it can be very overwhelming when you receive a lot of packaging. But I don't know how people have my address. It's crazy. I don't know where they get it from.
That does scare me a little bit.
Yeah, it scares me. I reckon PRs must send it round.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a good point.
Like all friendly. But yeah, I do really appreciate also sustainability as well. Like as an influencer, I'd rather PRs email me, and a lot of them do now, and say, we've got this gifting, would you like to be gifted? And sometimes I'm like, look, I've been sent so much recently, I don't want to take it because it's just going to sit there and I'm not going to have time to use it. So
makeup has a use by date.
Exactly.
Which people don't realize. I did not realize.
Yeah, but also like I don't want it to sit there and go to waste. Like give it to another influencer that will actually use it. Or I having a hair brand, no, it costs the brand to send samples. So I don't want them to waste their money if I'm not going to use it. So I'm very picky now with gifting and with work. Like I really think about like what I'm using and yeah.
No, I think that's really cool. Obviously, you mentioned your hair brand.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So that came about in lockdown. It was basically a bit like Dragon's Den. So I had this company that I kind of pitched my idea to essentially, and they loved it. And then they helped me with everything. Like helped me with like manufacturing, production, distribution. Basically took everything off of my hands, created me my brand and my product, all like up to kind of the standards that I wanted and I expected, and created me this hair dye brand. All I had to do was kind of market it essentially. So they are known for creating brands for creators. And it was great because I had a brand which a lot of people will have trolled me for in the past. But I had another brand years ago called Sophie Hannah Beauty, where I sold glitter and face jewels. And it was great, but I did it all myself. So I did all of the design of the products, getting them manufactured, shipping it out, the website, everything. And I did it on top of getting married and renovating a house. And it was just too much. And in the end, I was like, something's got to give, and it's got to be that, because, I couldn't do everything. And even now, like, I remember when I launched my hair brand, someone was like, oh, I wonder if it'll be a failure like a beauty brand. And I was like, no, like, people don't know obviously behind the scenes, but I'm a one woman like business. I couldn't do everything. And so anyways, that's why when I always wanted to launch a brand again, and I wanted it to be hair. Like, I love hair dye. I love hair color. That's what I'm most known for. I love experimenting with my hair. And I thought the next time I launch a brand, it's going to be done right. And so I believed in this company, and I was like, it's going to be done right with this company. So I thought.
I was going to say that, where's the hurdle coming into this?
Yeah, oh my God, honestly, I've literally, last year, I think I cried. And again, behind the scenes, no one knew about this. I think I cried every day last year throughout the whole of summer because of just the stress of this brand and how it was just a lot. Obviously, I'd love to go into details about everything, but I can't. But yeah, basically I didn't realize, but from day one, like, the finances of the brand were overlooked.
Okay.
So the profit margins just weren't there. So essentially my brand was making a loss without me realizing.
Wow, okay.
And I only realized because the company were delayed in sending me like reports and spreadsheets. So I didn't realize until a couple of months in. And obviously by that point, it's too late. I've already put a product out. The RRP is there. Can't increase the price. I like the product.
Without getting trolled.
And people have tried the product and they loved it. So then I couldn't reformulate. I've just launched a brand. So it was a bit of a disaster, really. But I did launch into Superdrug. I have to share that. I launched into Superdrug to just kind of, it was amazing having them really interested, and they wanted to retail my product, which was incredible. But recently I sold out in Superdrug, and I haven't chosen to restock with them. Just because I then left the third party company and I've taken Sophie Hannah Hair in-house. So now I'm doing it all myself.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, you clearly, obviously don't pick the easy stuff to do.
No.
You?
And also it's annoying because I started out my hair brand wanting to do it properly. And now it's just come back and landed in my lap again, exactly like Sophie Hannah Beauty did years ago. So it's a lot. However, I'm taking it on board, and, I'm lucky because my product is already there and it's already done. So that part of it, I don't really need to kind of focus too much on, because I've already got so many other colours and formulas ready to go. It's just a case of being able to afford to restock. Obviously, I've made quite a loss with my brand, but I'm not giving up. It's not stopping me. So now I am just investing more money, and I've started TikTok Shop in January, which went absolutely wild. And I sold out of the leftover stock that I had in 3 weeks, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. But now I'm having, like, when you have your own beauty brand, there's lots of different regulations and things you have to abide by in the UK, especially when you import beauty products. All of this I did not know before. Now I know, doing it all. So I'm just trying to sort out all of that at the moment until I can restock again. But it's just typical that happened at the same time as I went out of stock. Yeah,
I was going to ask you what was the biggest lesson that you learned from essentially the failure of Sophie Hannah Beauty?
Wait, Sophie Hannah Beauty or Sophie Hannah Hair?
Wow, either.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think in this industry, I've learned the hard way through 10 years that, like, business is business and people just want to make money.
Yeah, and I think
that's what that's literally the lesson I learned.
I think as well with beauty brands, you always have to keep up and come in with what's the next beauty brand, what's trending at the moment, and sometimes like colourful hair is trending, sometimes it's not, and then you're having to like switch between the two. But every time I've seen a beauty brand, I always think, oh, someone's just launched a product and it's successful straight away.
Yeah.
But then it's not until I actually sit down and speak to people and they've had like, well, technically I've had like 3 failed businesses before. So
Yeah.
before you get the right one.
100%. And it's funny because I'd say even when I had the brand with the third party company, so I launched in December 2021 and I left them December 2022. So it's very recent. In that whole year, there wasn't much help with marketing and social media. So I essentially was just making up as I went along. Like obviously the way that I did social media for brands 10 years ago is completely different to how it works now.
Yeah.
And I'm not in that space. So I'm not as educated now. I hired a social media manager for Sophie Hannah, and she's literally incredible. She's Gen Z. She's insane at content creating. And I love that I've got her to help me. So she's literally at the moment that's doing Sophie Hannah hair is me, my husband, and my social media girl. And we're now having, like, my husband's now shipping out the product for the brand, taking it all in-house. I've got a storage unit, keeping all the stock. Like, we're starting from scratch again, but as a small, tiny business, how they all start.
Yeah.
I think maybe I shouldn't have gone too big straight away. I think, and especially with the third party, I think they saw my following, they saw how many views my hair dye videos get. I think we all just thought it was going to fly off the shelves and sell out, but I'm not Kylie Jenner. Obviously, that happens with Kylie Jenner or KSI or all these other creators that, you know, like Prime drinks. Oh my God, they fly off the shelves. It's crazy. But I'm not them. And I think they were putting me in that bracket. Okay. So when I wasn't getting those, like I didn't sell out on day one, they were really disappointed. And that made me upset because then I'm like, I'm failed from day one. I hadn't at all. Brands take years to grow. Like you say, people have to have 3-4 failed businesses. It's not gonna, it doesn't matter if you're a content creator. Like, you could launch a product and it might not sell. But I believe in my hair dye brand. I believe in my product. It's sustainable, vegan, cruelty-free. I have been using it for like the last 3 years. Like, I love my range. And I was so close at giving it up. But I was like, what a waste though, because it's a good product. I just need people to try it. And now, because of TikTok Shop, which I'm so grateful for that opportunity to even be on that platform and the fact they set that up, so many people have tried it. And now the demand of people wanting it is insane. I'm getting messages and emails every day. I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is crazy. It's like I had a complete 360 turnaround. I think the hardest thing in business is getting people to try your product.
Yeah.
When it's so saturated.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying, when you just tried to start too big, basically, and keep up with brands that have already been established for years beforehand. Do you find that actually having a really supportive partner has helped you?
Oh, 100%. Like, literally, bless him. He used to work at Sky Sports, and he was really happy with that being his career, and we assumed he was going to grow in that. But then obviously I kind of grew on social media, and it was very overwhelming, and trying to do everything by yourself is really difficult.
Yeah.
Also, I want a life as well. Like, I want to make sure I'm prioritizing my mental health. I'm taking time out because I need to do that for myself. I need to have a work-life balance, which I've learned the hard way from just having a work life. But yeah, he's amazing. So he ended up leaving his job just before lockdown and then coming in-house with me and helping me. And it's amazing, just having someone else there to support me, brainstorm ideas. Like, when it comes to Halloween, I'm like, right, you brainstorm, I'm going to brainstorm, we'll come together. We actually love, we do walk our dogs every day, and that's our time to chat. And we'll just chat, brainstorm, we'll talk about business stuff or life things or whatever. Because I think it is hard when you live together and work together. It becomes we only really talk about work.
Yeah,
so it's nice
in each other's pockets.
Yeah, which it doesn't faze us at all. We get on really well, but I think it's nice to have dogs to walk because that gives us that time to actually connect out the house. Because house to me is associated with work.
That's the thing with being a content creator.
When you work from home, it's hard.
I think it's weird. Did anyone ever criticize the way that your marriage really works? Because it's more common than not that a woman would give up her career to support her male partner, but not necessarily the other way around.
I know. My husband's amazing. He's honestly like the most chilled person you'll ever meet. And I always check in with him because I always say to him, look, if you're not enjoying this anymore, or if you think, suddenly want to have your own career doing something, then I don't want to stop you. So please, like, just tell me and go ahead. And I always check in because I don't want him to sacrifice his life to work with me, because I always think like we're a team. But I think a lot of his friends probably think it's crazy because they're just like, oh, that's so mad that you just work for your wife. But a lot of people actually always say like, oh God, I couldn't do that. I couldn't work and live together. But actually, like, we're best friends and it works for us. Like, it won't work for every couple, that kind of work-life dynamic, but it just works.
As, obviously, we've spoken briefly about your book.
Yes.
And that is the new thing to the Sophie Hannah empire.
Yes.
How did this come about?
So the publisher is HarperCollins, and they contacted me I think it was shortly before I launched my hair brand, actually. So November, December 2021. They contacted me and just said they've got this kind of concept for a book, and they thought that I'd be perfect for writing it. So the concept was like a Bible, and it housed beauty, hair, like fashion. And they were like, we just think that you'd be perfect for it. Obviously, I've never ever thought to myself that I would ever write a book. It's not something that's been on my list to achieve in my career. I was never really that great at writing at school. And I wouldn't say my vocabulary's that great either. Essex girl. But when they contacted me, I was like, oh, I can't give up this opportunity. Like, what an incredible opportunity. And also I really wanted the challenge, because I was like, I wonder if I could actually do this. So I said yes, had a few meetings, and then the hardest thing was starting it. I think the first thing I had to do was kind of put a bit of a contents page together. So I just listed kind of topics within like beauty, hair and style of like what I would talk about. And then they had to, so even though they'd asked me to write a book, hadn't actually been approved. So they then had to take me like Sophie Hannah brand and my contents page and the concept to like the top people at HarperCollins, like pitch it. I had to pitch it. And then it was all signed off. So that was like the first hurdle. And then basically was allowed to write it. But starting to write it was the hardest thing, because I was like, I didn't know how to start writing a book. I'd never done it before. But I actually kind of treated it as like, because obviously my book's very different to other books. It's very, you learn a lot. It's a lot of information. There's a lot of pictures, tutorials. So I kind of treated it as like mini blog posts in a way. So I'd have one little section which might be how to apply false lashes or something. And I'll be like, right, I'm just going to focus on that one topic and not think about the rest of the book. So I'm just going to write that one section. And once that's done, I can then move on to another one, how to apply eyeliner. So kind of like it's like mini sections. And I started doing that really. I started with makeup first. I actually kept it in order of the book, weirdly. So I just literally did it in the order of the book. And it took me quite a few months to write it. I literally, again, this is another reason why I stopped weekly vlogging, because my life was just sat by a computer and it's not interesting at all. And I couldn't share about it either.
Yeah.
But I spent like 13-hour days writing.
For a whole year?
Not a whole year, no. So it was like kind of in section. I'd say it was probably about 4 or 5 months writing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But obviously not every day.
No, that's still a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. I'd say it was towards the end when my deadline was coming. I was like, I need to up the ante here. And I wanted to obviously proofread it all and make sure it was okay. And I didn't want to not miss a deadline, because that freaks me out. So I spent, 13 hours every day. I found this weird Spotify playlist that was called like Music for Writing. And I put these like noise cancellation headphones on and just sat and just 13 hours a day, every day for 3 weeks towards the end.
I'm going to have to find this playlist because it sounds great.
It's really weird. It basically sounds like you're in an old house, and it's like kind of like classically kind of music, like someone's playing like the violin, but then it sounds like people are walking upstairs and then like floorboards are creaking. It sounds really weird, but it worked.
Sounds like something out of a horror film.
It kind of does. But actually it's really good, and it really just zoned me out, and I was able to just concentrate on typing away.
What was your favourite part about your book?
Oh God. I think the favourite part of the book is actually seeing it in its physical form, because I sat for a whole, probably 8 months just seeing PDF documents of it and seeing it just on a Word document, like no colour, just black and white text. So I think that was probably the best bit, was receiving the actual physical book and opening it up and seeing it all come to life.
What was the worst? Like, what was the worst bit about writing it?
About writing it?
Yeah.
Starting it. I think that was the worst bit. I think trying to start it, because it was just very overwhelming, and also had a word count of 45,000 words minimum. So even just knowing that was really overwhelming. And I was like, I kept going to my computer and being like, I can't do this today. I can't do this today. I had to and then once I started, I got in the flow. It was just actually initially starting it. It was just very overwhelming. And it's funny because I thought 45,000 words, never going to be able to write that. Ended up writing 60,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I actually went way over. So, but it's weird when I got into it, I was like, oh, I need to mention this now. I've just spoken about this. Oh, I feel like I need to develop it and talk about this. So just kind of expanded the more I wrote it.
Do you think you'll ever write another one?
I
know it's not come out yet, and I'm already asking if you'd write another book.
Do you know what? I think it might be a one and done job. Only because like a lot has got, I didn't realise how much work goes into writing a book. Like hands down to people that bring out numerous books, like it's a lot. Like just from planning it to writing it, I shot all of the content as well. Like there's some stock imagery in the book just to kind of, I didn't want the whole book to be my face. So some stock imagery in there, but a lot of like all the eyes is my eye. Like I've shot all of that and I edited everything.
I've looked at briefly through all the pictures as well. That is, when you said you shot everything yourself, I was like, wow, you would never think that was all self-shot.
Yeah, all self-shot. And like even that, I overestimate. I was like, right, I probably a week to shoot all the content. And I started shooting and I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna need 2 weeks. And I have to say, like, my eyes and my face were sore by the end of it, because I was like doing a look, rubbing it off, doing another one, rubbing it off, because I had to cram it, because obviously I did this amongst being an influencer. I couldn't not, like, obviously that's the thing, when people write books, they still have a job and life that they need to
because it's very under wraps when you have a book.
Yes, deal. It is. And some people get a lot longer to write than others. Obviously with mine, they'd said that they wanted it to come out now. So it was always that I was going to have like basically a year to really plan, sort everything. I mean, the contract didn't actually get signed, I think, until the April. So really I had April until December to kind of get it all done. And obviously then you need to get it done in time for the editor to read over it. And for them to put all the imagery and do the design of the book. Obviously that's like another concept that has to happen. So yeah, there's actually so much that goes into the book, into a book.
I know we said briefly about how starting something is really, really tough because you don't know where to start. And the market in general, especially being an influencer or being a beauty creator, is very saturated. What would you say to anyone that's listening that wants to start doing something in this industry?
I would say definitely just sit down and kind of have a think about what you want to actually put out there. Like, what are your passions? What do you enjoy doing? Is it, I don't know, is it interiors? Is it beauty? Is it gaming? Like, really think about what you love doing and then just film. It's like, make content. If you scroll back and look at what content I made when I first started out, it's completely different to what I do now. And you can see that there's growth. So you're not going to be amazing straight away. You're not going to have the best quality content, but it doesn't matter. I think just start and you will eventually learn from your mistakes, learn different tips and tricks as you go along. Maybe you might watch some YouTube videos about how to film or how to get started. Yeah, I think the hardest thing is starting, but just find what you're passionate about, because you want to enjoy the content that you create.
Yeah, I think comparison's a killer as well, right?
Oh God, it's such a killer when you compare yourself. And the thing is though, I think if you're creating something that you don't like, your audience is going to know. Yeah. Like, you can just tell. So I think just, stay true to you and who you are and do what you love.
What do you think? What's next in your Sophie Hannah empire? So obviously you've got your hair and now you've got the book.
I think that's probably it for now, to be honest. I don't actually have any other plans. I think my biggest one at the moment is obviously like book launch. Want to get it out, want people to read it. And then just getting Sophie Hannah hair to a place where actually, like, well, I've salvaged the brand, really. I need to kind of salvage the brand now and work on that and just grow it from the ground up now, really.
Do you feel like you've ticked everything off, like your big wish list? Like every person in the industry has like a big thing they want to achieve.
I think I've ticked off most of my wish list. I have other things that I'd love to do. Like I'd love to potentially get into TV. I mean, I said to my publicist, if Strictly Come Dancing ever asked me, I'd come on it. But that would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, there's other things that would be such cool opportunities, but I think everything that I've kind of ever really wanted, I've managed to achieve, which is incredible. So I think right now, I mean, I'm one of those people that always wants more. And it's like, I'm really trying to kind of be grateful for everything that I've got now. And then if anything new comes, amazing. So I'm very content with pretty much, how like everything I've got. And I mean, last year was very stressful with everything that was going on. So I feel like this year I kind of just need to enjoy it a little bit more.
Do you know what I really could see you doing? Being on the panel of like Drag Race.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Like with all the colourful makeup
I'd love to
and hair.
Be on Glow Up as well.
I could see you on Glow Up as well, actually.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really cool.
So many comments from people being like, you need to be a contestant on there. But I feel like I don't need to utilise that show to be a contestant. And also I wouldn't want to take it away from people that actually want to utilise it to build or grow their platform. But being like a judge on there or something could be kind of cool.
We're just using this as like a manifestation platform.
Manifesting.
Anyone is listening, please put me on Glow Up.
Hello.
I always ask all of the guests that come on my podcast very similar last question.
Okay.
And it's, what would you say to people in your past or people potentially in your future that doubt your success based on the fact that you are an influencer?
Oh, I'd probably say past. I feel like a lot of people probably just thought, what the hell is Sophie doing posting outfits online? And I'd say
literally. Yeah.
So like I'm glad and also I am such a hard worker that I've worked my ass off over the years to be able to do what I do. And yeah, it's funny, a lot of people probably didn't believe in me and that I could do it. I'd love to tell this story. I had some friends like a few years ago, like, I don't know if you ever saw the video. I did like a nose hair video.
Yeah, I saw that.
It still comes back to haunt me now. It was like a trend where you put like false lashes up your nose. Anyway, it went viral and I actually had some old friends I saw trolled me on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
For that video, being like, I can't remember what they said, but they just like wrote some really horrible stuff about me. And I was like, I mean, to me, I'm like, that's obviously a trigger. Like, you're clearly just seeing how much I've grown now and you're just saying it to just like get back at me.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they knew that I'd saw those posts, but I saw them and I was just like, just annoying, but I'm kind of glad I'm not friends with them anymore if that's how they think of me.
A lot of people probably don't realise that you do read everything.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I read every single one of my comments on Instagram. And so, and I like and I comment back. I actually appreciate my community. Yeah. It frustrates me. Some influencers, they don't communicate with their audience. They never like their comments or they never reply. Whereas I literally try and reply to everyone. DMs is a lot harder because sometimes I just get inundated, but I always try my best to comment back on everything. TikTok, Instagram. Because obviously I wouldn't be here without people loving what I do and enjoying my content. Obviously, most of it, part of it is me producing the content, but the other side of it is if people weren't engaging, then I wouldn't be where I am now. So obviously so grateful to my audience. And one was why I've written my book for them, really, to kind of have something substantial that they can learn from and use to express themselves. And
I guess your book is also proof that if you listened to what other people thought about you, it would never be here in the first place.
Oh, literally, exactly. And it kind of, I talk about that in my book in terms of linking to your makeup and hair and everything. Like, just be who you want to be, dress who you want to be. Don't worry about people judging you, or it is hard, like mentally. Or, when you're having a down day, you see a troll comment, it does sometimes get to you. But I think if you just keep being you and staying true to yourself, like you will get to where you want to get to.
No, I think that's a really amazing message to like end the episode on. So I'm really grateful that you've come on and you've spoken to us about your new book. And I actually can't wait to read it because I'm going to need to use those bright coloured eyeshadow palettes that are just chilling in the back of my drawer collecting dust.
Oh my God, do it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
I find it really ego inflating, but I'm one of those people that doesn't like having my ego inflated.
Yeah.
I get really maybe it's something I need to work on, clearly. It's clearly just a me problem.